Hey, family. Welcome back to another Luk'A'Here, y'all episode with your host, Miss Trina. Today, we speaking on uh, family members that like to get involved with in-home care. Family members that like to get involved with in-home care. Don't know what they doing, but love to get involved with in-home care. Allies or intruders. Managing boundaries in the home care ecosystem. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, today's episode is one that's been like tugging at me for a minute, but simply because this is what I predominantly do, which is the in-home care now, since I'm not able to clock in no more. I can't go work with y'all. But anyway, in-home care is supposed to feel safe, okay? Sacred even. But what happens when the people invited to help start to feel like an intruder? Yeah, it happens. It happens. Don't get me wrong now. It happens. So whether you're a caregiver, a client, or you're a part of the family circle, you've probably felt that tension. Is this my space anymore? Or who's really in control here? Okay? Today we're going to unpack the emotional and relational boundaries that make caregiving work or fall apart. So stick around, y'all. We're going to go deep into the heart of the home. Okay, I'm back. Now, the home is a sacred space. Okay? So when you walk into a client's home, you stepping into their story. You're stepping into their memories, their habits, their beliefs. Every photo on the wall holds some special meaning. Now, picture if you can. Imagine transforming that space into a hospital, okay? Move that couch over there for safety. Put those grab bars over there by the door. Introduce routines to a person that's been independent, but we introducing routines to them that are clinical. It's necessary, yes, but it's also disruptive to them. So, because I used to care for a lady that needed 24-hour care. Honey, she refused to sleep in her room after they made the adjustments to it. They had to take out her king-size bed and put it in a hospital bed. They had to take out her small little serving table and give her a bedside table. They had to put up bars on her door handles, on the door frames. Baby, she would not, honey, that used to be her sanctuary. That used to be the place she go when she straight up relaxed, baby. When they made the adjustments to her home, to her bedroom, she was not having it. She refused to sleep in there. So she slept in the guest room. She slept in the guest room the whole 4 months I had that case. I don't know what happened to her after that, but she slept in that guest room the whole 4 months I had that case. So, that's, you done already violated her. That even though she need this kind of help, she don't. I mean, that girl, she didn't care, honey. We done already violated her by taking out that king size bed and putting her in that hospital bed, honey. Baby, she went. You talking about crashed out? Baby, she went ballistic. So let's name it clearly, okay? Home is people's emotional territory, and caregivers, we have to learn how to move real gently, stay aware, and adapt. Okay? Move gently, stay aware, and adapt. Not just come in with the care plan and bulldoze. Now that ain't cool. If you want to get some resistance out of somebody, you come up in somebody's house with a whole care plan or something you got to do, boom, boom, boom. And you not telling them that it's going to be like, man, girl, look, I don't even want to talk about it. Yeah, but that's not going to be a It's not going to be a good conversation. Okay? Now, this, I have to get this out because, this is this is a true thing. When families hover, yeah, I said that. Let's talk about hovering, okay? Let's just talk about hovering. You in the room trying to help, okay? You focused. And here comes the pacing relative, the commentary, the side glances. We usually do it this way. You know what? But hovering happens though when family members struggle to let go. Like out of fear, some out of guilt, but some, hover out of love. You know what I'm saying? They watching closely. They want to make sure you ain't doing nothing, you ain't got no business. They correcting gently. Not so much as going bad on you, but telling you it's a better way to do it. Let them tell it to you, the trained professional, that it's a better way to do it. But it chip away at your confidence a little bit, because at this time you by gritting your teeth. You've been in this job for X amount of years or whatever, and you just got this new client that never had in-home care before, that's just now getting it, but got a family member that's over your shoulder all the time telling you what to do and what not to do. You know what I mean? Even though we as caregivers can clearly understand the lesson plan, we clearly understand the plan. When we read the medical record, we understand the plan. We understand what we have to do for this person. But family members that was doing it or in place before we got there, baby, they don't even be trying to have it. But for real, because okay, like I remember I had a man's the daughter. I don't want to call his name, but his daughter. She used to follow me in every room. Like if we in the living room, she in there with us, no problem. He want to go into his study. So when he go into his study, I go in the study and I sit with him just to make sure that he don't, tip over out his big lounge chair, he got, because he sit at a desk and he, take care of his bills. She come in there trying to make it seem like she wanted something or wanted to ask him a question, but she really didn't, So here we are going to the shower. I already know the protocols to take the shower. She don't. She never did it before. She never did seen her daddy naked. So I'm in there with him, getting him undressed so that he can get off in the shower. Now, mind you, he has one of these chair seats. So that's what he used to actually shower himself. The only thing that I do is wash his back and wash his legs from the knee down. That's it. She want to hover and come all in there and do that. Miss Trina, can you cover my dad's waist part? I have to ask you a question. Or, Miss Trina, can you cover my dad's waist part? I have to come and get something out the medicine cabinet. Girl, no, she don't need none of that because she ain't even live there. You know what I'm saying? Just hovering. Like, girl, please, like a nigga want your daddy. Girl, baby, I ain't going to even play with you. But anyway. But for a minute, I felt like I was auditioning, though, for a minute instead of serving. Like, she really wanted to watch me to really see if I know what I was doing. But the family dynamics, though, be layered, though. They really be layered. Okay? Hovering sometimes often masks grief or regret or even resentment, But caregivers, you are not emotional punching bags, baby. Y'all deserve trust. We all deserve trust, especially when we, got our hands on people taking care of people, because, you don't want to respond harshly, or, you don't want to respond, negatively, because it don't have to be harsh. Tone is everything, and you don't want to respond negatively. So you can respond by saying, you know what? I see how much you care for your auntie. I see how much you care for your mama. Let's go over her care plan together, and let's see where best we can fit together to make her day better, more pleasant. So we can work together. I mean, and that's what I told her. I mean, I was being respectful, and I was being firm. And it says, and I basically told her, you know what I'm saying, we allies on this. You know what I'm saying? We ain't competitors. Because first and foremost, baby, you can't even do what I do, but I ain't take it there. You know what I'm saying? I acted like I had some sense. And that was the first time I ever came up against an irate family member that I actually dealt with in that manner. And I'm proud of myself for that. I really am. But the shadow side of it, though, when your care be under surveillance, the shadow side is performing the compassion. Because when caregivers feel watched, you know what I'm saying, we sometimes start masking emotions, you know what I'm saying, like smiling through our fatigue when we just tired, or, nodding while being second guessed, knowing good and well we want to be like, say, man, but we don't. But then there's that intersection. Race, gender, and class. I don't care what you say. Yes, it is. Now, we can get into that, on a deeper level, because I sure know something about that. But right now, we're going to skim over that. We're going to skim over that. So, you know what I mean? So, they always want to pick, at, at pick at your self-esteem, like, is she really nurturing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she incompetent a little bit. Kinda. Not really. But yeah. You know what I mean? Something like that. Or they'll be like interrogating you quietly. You know what I'm saying? For real. They seem like they asking questions, but it's really, interrogating you. You know what I'm saying? They're interrogating you, you know what I'm saying, just because you be in there. Just for you being there. That's just something else. You know what I'm saying? But one of my homegirls told me, though, she said, so-and-so's family acted like I was just a help. You know what I'm saying? Even though I had more training than they nurse cousin. They sitting up there acting like, you know what I'm saying, like like I don't know what I'm doing. And then I asked the nurse cousin to help me, reposition her, go from one side to the other. And the first thing she did was grab her hip and her shoulder. She didn't bend her right leg up. When I bent her right leg up to show that she can roll better that way, yeah, she gonna look at me, you know what I'm saying? I could just imagine the look. But anyway, this ain't just about ego, though. It's about emotional safety. And like I told y'all, them tools you need, that emotional go bag, them tools you need. You know what I'm saying? Rather I'm just going to say it like, if you want to just call another homegirl of yours, another CNA, and just headshot your day or whatever, that's good. You know what I'm saying? Or using code words with your care team. You know what I'm saying? Using code words to show that, you probably, experiencing fatigue, or a family member is beginning to be a little bit too much for you. You know what I'm saying? It's always code words that we use in our documentation to let our supervisors know, like what kind of atmosphere it is. And you need that emotional space to breathe too, not just a physical space to work. So when you know what I'm saying, you just got to build better boundaries, And then you ask the question, so how do we fix this? How do we not become intruders and not let allies become distractions? Shoot, first you got to start with clarity. Say, peep game, I'm going to need for everybody that do care with this client or whatever, I need for all of us to have a little 15-minute break at the end of the week, a little 15-minute powwow to know where we are together, see if we're on the same page and get clarity about her care. That's one way to do it, so you won't be so blindsided, when you come in the next day and something else is different. Or something is moved, or she don't do this no more, or she don't do that no more. You know what I mean? So as long as everybody is on the same page about the client's care, then your job should go smooth. And your client's day should go smooth too. So, just to make sure that your care is seamless. Just to make sure that your care is seamless. Everybody got to get together to find out how to best work together. You want me to get that to you again? You want me to get that to you again? Well, I hope you heard me. And remember, people, boundaries are not bridges. I'm sorry. Boundaries are bridges, not barriers. They're how we build sustainable care, not just patch up problems. So, when you look at it, you want to actually be always on the same page when it comes to a client's care. And that's even with the family members. Because like I said in this presentation, yes, they do hover. Yes, they do treat you like, what I'm saying, some do. Because I have experienced it myself, so I can talk about that. So, but all in all, the home is just a sacred place. You know what I mean? So, caregiving is intimate, first and foremost. It is. It is a very intimate thing. It's a very vulnerable thing. It's powerful, but it only works when everyone involved respects the space, respect the roles, and the emotions wrapped inside of it. Just respect that. You respect me, I respect you. We both respecting the client at the same time. Because we acting like we got some sense and not fighting over her or fighting over him. Because, people can feel that. So, respect isn't silent, y'all, for real. Respect ain't even silent. It's structured, for real. Boundaries don't weaken care. They protect the care. Period. First and foremost. So, until next time, y'all, take care of y'all while y'all are constantly taking care of others. Peace.